Hey everyone, this is Dennis Brown with FreightBrokerBootCamp.com coming back to you for another Freight Broker training. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 must-read books if you're a freight broker or a freight agent. I know a lot of you may or may not be readers, and to be honest with you, if it weren't for audio books and Kindle books, I probably wouldn't be either. But it's so easy to consume this information now, especially like I said with audio books. I thought that this would be something that you guys might enjoy. I put my audiobooks in when I'm driving, when I've got some downtime. And it's been an incredible experience for me. I probably read 30 to 50 books a year depending upon what's going on with my travel or otherwise. So I'm going to share with you guys the 3 must-read books for freight brokers and freight agents. But before we talk about those, if you stick around to the very end of this video, I have a free gift for you. So please stick around to the end of the video to claim your free gift. All right, so here we go. So the 3 books that I'm going to talk to you about today is this. Number 1 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is a classic business book. This is a classic book in personal development. It's one of the first books I ever read in personal development, and I'm going to be extremely honest with you, it really did change my life. I've read it over 20 years ago. It's been a required reading for anybody that works for me for the last 20 years. And so, that book talks about fundamental techniques on how to handle people. It talks about 5 or 6 different ways to make people like you. Let's remember, guys, people buy from people they like. People buy from people they like, know, and trust. Liking is an important part of the sales process. The other thing is it talks about how to win people to your side of thinking. And it also talks about, how to change people without offending them or creating resentment. So those are some of the topics that they cover in the book. It's a must-read book. It's read, I think it's sold over 15 million copies sold, guys, worldwide. So the second book we're going to talk about is The Little Red Book of Selling. And that's a book by Jeffrey Gitomer. I read that book. I read this book, I don't know, it was probably, I'm not sure, it was probably 6 or 8 years ago. Great book. It's 12 and a half Principles of Sales Greatness, How to Make Sales Forever. And Jeffrey Gitomer is he's one of my favorite sales trainers, authors. He's written many, many, many books. He's got a great website at Gitomer.com. I would strongly recommend. But in his book, he talks about prepare to win or lose to someone else. See, there's some of the favorite topics that I pulled from the book. I can't share them all with you. Another thing he talks about is personal branding is selling. He's big on personal branding when you're out there selling. Another thing he talks about, which is my favorite part of the entire book, is it's all about value in relationships, not price. Because most people, particularly in the freight industry, I see they sell a lot on price, and that's a huge, huge mistake. So those are just a few of the things that he covers in that book. There's 12 and a half principles. Highly recommend it. The last one is a book by Guy Kawasaki, who you may or may not have heard of. Very well-known business personality, speaker and author of many, many books, and it's called The Art of the Start 2.0. The time-tested, battle-hardened guide to anyone starting anything. I love this book because I love the simplicity of it, and I love the way he follows through the process kind of from cradle to grave. He talks about starting. He talks about positioning. He talks about pitching. He talks about bootstrapping your company. He talks about how to raise capital. He talks about partnering and rainmaking. I mean, these are just some of the things that he covers in this book. So, guys, what I'm going to highly recommend is this. You may or may not be a reader, but I'm going to tell you, get an audiobook. Go to Amazon or go to audible.com, get an audiobook. Once you do an audiobook, you'll probably never read another, paperback book again. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm going to tell you, the audiobooks have really been phenomenal for me. And, again, hang around to the end, but before you leave this page, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. If you click on this subscribe button down here, you're going to get notified every time I put a new YouTube video out. For example, you might have missed this video that I did recently, Riches Are in Niches. This is a great video, one of my favorite topics, and I think one of the most important lessons that people can learn and when they're becoming a freight broker. And last but not least, here's your free gift, guys. I wrote this book a while back. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Freight Brokers. It's been downloaded over 5,000 times. To be honest with you, it's probably closer to 10,000 times. And in order for you to claim that, it's absolutely free right now. Just go to www.freightbrokerbootcamp.com. You'll see a link that will allow you to get that book, okay? So listen, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.